Hello and welcome back to the Summoner's Guide to Final Fantasy XIV. This time we're going to be playing one of the two optional dungeons, though in my opinion no dungeon is optional. But definitely a non-story dungeon unlocked after completing the Shadowbringers main story. This one is called the Twinning. And if you are familiar with the Crystal Tower series of 24-player raids, this opening should look awfully familiar. As we are going into the Crystal Tower for a little bit of fun at level 80. The first few trash pulls are very standard stuff, so I'm going to talk to you about something that I realized just after I queued up for this that I did not do that I should have. As of the time of this recording, after the release of patch 4.25, the new Relic Weapons series has begun, and all that you are actually required to do to begin it is to have completed the main story quest, as well as the entire Return to Ivalice 24-player raids. Basically all the level 70 24-player raids. Once you've cleared Reborn Monastery and its associated quest line, and the main story quest for Shadowbringers, you will be able to begin that the quest for the Relic in Kugane. I realized just before this pop that I had not yet done that on this character, so I'm actually working on it, and we'll probably have that down before I do the next dungeon video. The gear that or the weapon that you get for it starts at item level 485, which is almost as good a gear as you could get without playing the Eden's Gate, or sorry, the Eden's Verse raid 7 weeks in a row, or playing Savage Eden. Alright. Make sure that the tank picks up that. Things not going particularly well. I'm trying to talk and play at the same time. But, you know, obviously you don't need to have a 485 weapon to play this dungeon. But I would be doing a lot more damage if I did. The trash pulls are very much regulated in this particular dungeon. There are very definite blocks that will prevent you from progressing too far. What I'm not doing is using my headphones. It's been a little too long. I been taking a little bit of a hiatus from playing this because I've been working on playing other classes on my main, whilst and at the same time trying to get all of the oh, I thought I was out of that. Whilst and at the same time trying to get all of the Mog Tomes for various gear that I'm missing. Alright, switching to Ifrit for the first boss. The key thing to remember in this boss is that there are tanks with adds on the east and west side of the arena. your objective is to not let any of your attacks, or your opponent's attacks, hit them. So you want to kind of stay in the middle. I like to stand about here. Because the first thing he's going to do is mark everybody with these swords, and then he's going to do line AoEs against everybody. Just make sure your line AoE does not hit any tanks. Otherwise that happens. Letting too many of these ads come into play will really wreck the raid. Basically the only times I've ever wiped against this boss are because of that mechanic. Again, these circle AoEs, don't let them hit the tanks either. Alright, there's a stack up. You know what to do with that, but when this stack up resolves, it's going to drop a puddle. And another stack up will happen, which will also drop a puddle. Get out of the puddles. And just know, eventually he's going to start repeating those line AoEs again. So get into a position where you're not going to let your line AoEs hit the tanks. And not let them hit your other players either. That is exactly the way you're supposed to handle that mechanic. And you've now seen everything that this fight has to offer. Those puddles will disappear right about the time the next set of the next stack up indicator happens, so you won't have to worry about those being in play when you have to stack up. And there you have it. The first boss, and potentially, in my opinion, the most dangerous. I've wiped against that boss more than any other in this dungeon. Once again, you got barriers to work with, and most tanks will pull straight up to the barrier. We have two trash pulls to worry about in this section. Once again, neither of them particularly notable. You'll handle them like you'd handle pretty much any other trash pull. Stacks. There we go. On to the next section. I love the music in this dungeon too, and again, for veteran players, you should recognize this music as a combination between the music for the Crystal Tower and the music for actually the 11th stage of Omega. Which I haven't run on this character. Haven't really done much of the high-level raids. Though I intend to fix that. I intend to play all the raids and do them as kind of a bonus series. Not as part of the main Summoner's Guide series, but I do intend to play them and record them with this character. because the Eden raids, I think, are particularly fun. Alright, switching back. I'm passing on all the gear in here because it's going to be long before I have much better gear. Alright. This boss I really consider to be a warm-up for the last boss. A lot of the mechanics things you're going to need to do in the last boss, you kind of learn in this one. So, okay, when you see these orbs, get to a place where you're not near any of the orbs. As you can see, the orbs just explode, hit everything that's near them, and you don't want that to be you. Next, you're going to see this grid pattern. Obviously, it'll be where the lasers are. And lastly, we're going to have spread markers. Obviously, spread out. Now, for the remainder of the fight, you're going to see these mechanics combine. You're going to have to deal now with all three of those things at the same time. Alright, there's your orbs. Stay away from those. There's the grid. And then we're going to have a couple players marked with the thunder marks too. So just stay out of as many mechanics as you possibly can, and don't forget to use Octoborn, like I did. Again, I play a lot better when I'm not trying to talk and play at the same time. Alright, orbs, stay away. Now that guy's going to eat an orb. It's better that he eat an orb than to double up on the thunder stat. I would have rather him come over and hit me, to be honest, because I could have weathered one attack better than him weathering two. But anyway, that's definitely the easiest boss of the three. Alright, so I'm going to switch back to Garuda. Another two-section. You can clearly see the door, that big blue door up there. Now there's a lot of fun little references in this section for those who have played the previous raid tiers, specifically the Alexander raid tier and the Omega raid tier. I'll point out a couple. And it has to do actually a lot with the story of the Crystal Tower and the Crystal Exarch, and I'm going to keep that all spoiler-free. But suffice it to say, some things that you've seen in the raid stories are involved if you've played the raids and seen the stories. this is the last section of ads. Now, this is one of the fun little Easter eggs from the Omega raid. One of the enemies here is the Mark 154. No, sorry, Mark 144. To get my Roman numerals straight. Thermocoil block or boil buster. The thermocoil boil buster is a reference to, in the Omega raids, a teapot that was designed by Sid and Garland Ironworks, indicating that what you're seeing here is also a result of Sid Garland's technology somehow gone wrong. The one thing to note about this is those boil busters do have that donut attack, so you either want to stay really far away from them or get up in their faces. And I hope the other players give me enough time to watch the intro cutscene to this boss, because it's awesome. And this is fun for all of you fans of Alexander. Oh yeah, we got the Alexander music back. Somewhere on that bad boy is the Ironworks logo. So yeah, we got Omega, we got Alexander, we got Sid Garland's Ironworks, we got Ifrit coming out, we got gear that I'm passing on. This is a fun boss. And the bringing back the Alexander music is a nice touch. They waited for me, how nice. Tank is getting my combo this time. Alright, so, you see that the beams charging up? They're not going to go off right away. They're going to give these little AoEs that are going to end up being lines that they shoot when the time stop ends right now. You don't want to be in the path, but you don't really don't want to stand in the AoEs prior to their resolving. Otherwise, the entire raid's going to take big damage. Don't do it. So you see the one pattern where the 4 of them are coming out from the boss. There's another pattern where 2 of them are coming out from the sides. Sometimes you'll see both of them at the same time. Watch out. Artificial gravity, you'll see a few of those little pools. They'll expand. Be far away from them before they resolve. That'll give you plenty of time to get out of the way. Like the last boss, you're going to see everything you need to know early in the fight. And then you're just going to see combinations of those mechanics. There's one more mechanic to worry about. Okay, another defensive array. Watch where those are. Be in a safe place. And now we got the spread AoEs, so stay out of those. Watch out for the resolution of lasers. Don't get hit by those. You can avoid it. And that's really all you need to know. Now we're just going to start seeing funky combinations of these attacks. Oh, there's a room wide. Can't do anything about that, except pray that the healer is on point. Alright, that's the 4 coming out from the body. Stay out of that. A lot of times, the tank will pull the boss closer to a wall. Give you a little more elbow room. Oh, crap. Not much of a safe place on that one, as you can see. But yeah, from here on out, it's just watch for those mechanics, see which ones are coming out, deal with them accordingly. Alright, we've got the defensive array. This is going to be about as safe a place as I'm going to get. Praying that the gravity well doesn't... Oh! Oh! I don't like this at all. That was an ugly pattern there, but I'm glad we got through it. And there you have it. That's the twinning. Definitely a really fun dungeon. One of the better dungeons they've come out with. I love it every time I play it. So that's that, and now I'm gonna finish getting my relic weapon and keep on chugging. So until then, have a wonderful day.